What's up, gorgeous? I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to another episode of the Fierce Framework, where we talk about becoming fierce through messy action, baby steps, and growing your confidence. I'm your host, Mary Beth. I'm just an ADHD girly with a dream to see the women around me living their own dreams, specifically by helping us grow successful businesses. So, I'm your business coach, Bestie, and this podcast is all about inspiring stories, practical advice, and just those things, those pieces you need to help keep you going, provide encouragement, just stories from my own experience to help you keep going and kind of learn from one another, right? So I love bringing on other business owners who are in a kind of similar journey, navigating the waters of entrepreneurship. And one of my favorites is Mikale. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, we've had her on before, so I'm sure you already love her. And again, if you've been listening to the podcast, you also know I love long conversations and I don't love long podcast episodes. So this is actually a three-parter. I know, I'm so sorry. But we talk about everything from being a neurodivergent entrepreneur, we talk about being a conscious entrepreneur, money blocks, taking up space, and then at the end we tag in a little bit of time about my trip to Belize. So I believe in working smarter, not harder. Making things easy. So yes, I am absolutely doing one intro for all of these episodes. There will be links and more information in the description, in the show notes, as always, so that you can make sure that you're following Amikale because she is incredible. One of the things I love about her is that instead of following like the standard format of one person is interviewing and then it's their episode and they release it, she was willing to share the recording with me, so I'm putting it out as well. But you'll be able to see the same type of episode on her platforms. So I definitely encourage you to give her a follow, check her out. I absolutely love her, and I hope that you enjoy these three episodes with my friend Mikale.
Earlier you brought up going to Belize for 3 weeks, and I'm very curious. I also want to hear the story behind this, but I'm also curious. We've been talking about identity and becoming this next version of self. So, who did you have to become in order to book this three week trip, 2 week trip,
Mm-hmm.
3 week trip
Yeah.
to Belize? Expand the people, please.
I love that question. Who did I have to become? Woo! Okay. Um, oh, that's such a good, I love the way you phrased that. That's such a good question. Okay, so there were a lot of pieces. Um, but like, so I'm still in corporate and my
Mm-hmm.
coaching business is my side business right now. So there was a lot of I'm realizing and like realized, right, that like I still very much, we're talking about mindset. I'm very much like I have that corporate mindset and
Mm,
I like center my corporate job a lot. Like that gets my first energy and like that's my priority. That's the way I was raised. I was raised to be a
mm-hmm.
very good worker and I am. But like realizing like I can still be excellent and show up while I'm there. Like I'm not trying to be a problem,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also like not interested in climbing the corporate ladder because I'm building my own thing. So I don't need to constantly be looking for new opportunities and proving myself. Like I just need to do the job description and that's
Mm-hmm.
good enough. So like changing that mindset was a huge piece of it. And like we're a small team too. So even allowing myself to just be like, the team's just gonna have to cover for me. And like that's what
Mm-hmm.
PTO is for. And it's not my responsibility to take care of all of that. Like,
Mm.
so like letting go of everyone else's well-being is my responsibility. And even
Ooh.
like, because the team is small and I care about these people and knowing like, oh, there's gonna be more work for everybody else while I'm gone. Yeah. And when they take vacation, I do more work. Like that's how a
Mm-hmm.
team works, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. So like accepting help. And then ooh, I struggle with authority. I
Mm.
don't know, like I think because I was raised very like authoritarian, so I'm like afraid of authority. And having that conversation with my boss was like really hard because he was like, "Oh, um, because I wanted to take the whole month originally. Then it got
Mm-hmm.
narrowed down because the flights were better. But he was like, well, usually like 2 weeks is standard, so like we'll have to see. And I was like, okay, but like my cancellation for my Airbnb is only like, I'm on a limited time frame and
Mm-hmm.
I gotta book flights, so like let me know. And he was like, my perception is he was like subconsciously trying to get me to like just do 2 weeks. And I was like,
Mm.
no, I don't want to do 2 weeks. Like that's not long enough for me. Because I've done 2 week vacations and it's amazing and I love that, but it's like you don't really get to disconnect. And so it's like
Yeah.
I want to experience like not having a corporate job for almost a month.
Mm.
Like I
Wow.
just want to live. Like what would that be like to not have a corporate job? And I'm like, I need more
Mm.
than 2 weeks to like really change that mindset. And so I was like, no, no, no. And so realizing like that was hard for me to like have that conversation and to follow up with him and be like, so is this time approved or not? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and because usually like I'm such a people pleaser and I'm like so afraid of like upsetting my superiors. So that was it seems silly because it's like such a small thing, but that was huge for me to like
Mm.
have that conversation, be like, this is what I want to do, and to like advocate for myself. Because we're super busy from like November to February, and I booked it in
Okay.
April. I would have loved to do it in February, but I was like, look, I've already compromised. I waited till we're not busy. Like, I want my 3 weeks. And then I had to like follow up because it wasn't a priority for him. And so like
Mm-hmm.
overcoming all that of like, oh my God, I'm hounding him and like, what if he gets mad? What if he gets mad? What, do you get fired? Do you have more time to work on your business? Like, what is so like so that piece too of like becoming someone who confronts my anxiety because I am very good at
Ooh.
kind of keeping that mental clutter like as just a vague cloud that's like there
Mm-hmm.
kind of bothering you but just like pretending it's not there. It's still there and you're still carrying it. So
Mm.
becoming the person who's like, what are we worried about? And
Mm-hmm.
actually looking at me like, what is going on here? What is the problem? And confronting it. Because more often than not, as soon as you confront it, like the solution, a step forward, some way to resolve it becomes so clear. Like it's so easy.
Mm.
Once I just stop avoiding it and I'm like, what is going on here? What am I
Mm-hmm.
what am I afraid of? Like, oh, I'm afraid I'll get fired. Okay. I'm actually not afraid of that. Like, oh, boom,
Mm-hmm.
now that's gone. So becoming that person who's willing to like confront myself and like this vague anxiety that I was like keeping at bay, right?
Mm.
Um, yeah, so those things were huge. And yeah, that was a big part of it. And then like as I was there, allowing myself to like be instead of doing all the things. And that's
Mm.
part of why having 3 weeks was important to me as well. Because I was like, I don't want to go for a week and like have to do all the tourist things and like run, 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 run. I want to be able to like be
Mm-hmm.
and like just live my life while I'm there and see what that's like. Right? Like
Yeah.
I went to the same coffee shop a bunch of times because like, I wasn't on a limited time frame where I had to check out all the hot spots. Like I was there for 3 weeks and I went on 3 tours. Like there's so many things I could be doing. And like I met some amazing people. And this one woman was like, you have to go to Guatemala. She's like, Guatemala's like right there. You're here for
Ah.
3, like go take like a week in Guatemala or like go do this, go do that. And I was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not here to do all the things. Like I'm just here to like
Mm-hmm.
vibe and allowing myself letting that be enough
Mm.
was like a big deal for me. And so it's so interesting because like saying these things out loud and like journaling about them, like this feels so elementary. But
No.
hey, if you never let yourself learn it, then you never learn it, right? And it's like whether it's elementary or not, that's where I'm at. So okay,
Mm-hmm.
just letting yourself be. And
Mm-hmm.
then like the attitude is so different there that I didn't even realize because like when things are normal, you think it's normal, right? When like that's what you're surrounded by. I didn't realize how much I felt like I had to earn my space like at places.
Mm.
because like, and this could like pivot into a whole conversation about like third spaces and stuff, but like you could go to a bar. There's lots of bars. A lot of their income is from tourism, so there's lots of bars. But like, and just sit and chat. And they're not like nobody's hounding you to buy a drink. Like you don't have to pay to be somewhere.
Ah, I see what you're
Like
saying.
like the guy, one of the coolest dudes was like he was a cook for one of the restaurants who did karaoke. So I spent a lot of time there. And he's just like grilling on the street outside the restaurant because it's
Oh
very
wow.
island vibes. Love it so much.
Come
Because
on
I was
now.
technically in Key Cocker, which is an island like part of Belize, but it's an island, a very small island, and so very
Oh.
island vibes, like incredible. And like I just loitered, like I just lingered around him and his friends. I kept telling myself I was gonna eat there because his food always looked so good. I actually never did, but like just loitering, hanging out, and like one of the guys we were hanging out with was like, "Hey, do you want a beer?" And we're in front of the bar, like we're standing in front of the restaurant. And in America, you have to like earn your right to be,
Mm.
or that's how I feel. So maybe that's my own
Mm.
internalized, right? He goes to the grocery store two doors down and grabs beer. Like doesn't even go into the bar. And my mindset is like, oh, we have to like pay the bar so we don't get in
Right.
trouble for like hanging out outside with their cook. Nah,
Wow.
it's like half price to get it from the grocery store instead of from a bar because markup, right? Like, and it's so funny, but I was like, it like blew my mind. Or like a different time, I was just hanging out at a bar and I wasn't drinking, and like the bartender checked on me, but it wasn't like I had to like buy something to be allowed to like take up
Mm-hmm.
space. And then like I
Mm.
feel once I started realizing that, I was like, this translates into so much of my life. Like
Wow.
I feel like I have to earn my right to be places. And that is so fucked up.
Wow. That's deep.
So like started as like a bar story, right? But I was like, what other spaces do I feel like I have to earn my right to be there?
Mm. Wow. That's so deep.
It was a game
Whew.
changer for me. And then like practicing it and just sitting through the discomfort. Like no one else is judging me. No one else is trying to like get me to buy a drink because I'm here. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is my own uncomfortable like expectation. And so just sitting
Mm.
there, like I don't feel like having a drink. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to chat
Mm-hmm.
with these people and take up a space at the bar, and that's okay.
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
what?
Wow. That's what I love about traveling because it really, especially
The
when you're
norms are
like,
different.
yes, it just shows you so many different paths of living and
Hmm.
cultures. And
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, just even just you sharing that one particular story right there is like, this is why it's so important to get outside of America and
Yeah.
like go experience other cultures, go experience other spaces, places.
Hmm.
Like, it's so important
Yeah.
to expand your mind. Like that was let's
Right.
listen to how expansive that was for you.
Huge. Huge.
Like that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Hey, so you know, on this podcast, we're always talking about how to make progress towards your goals and reach your dreams. But what if you're stuck or you're not sure where to go next or you need some more support, right? Well, I am so excited to let you know that I have a couple of openings available for a free business strategy session. I know it's a mouthful, but what it is essentially a free coaching session with me. It's really an opportunity to get to know more about you and your business and where you might be stuck or needing some inspiration or a different perspective or some new insight or someone to bounce some ideas off of. And it gives us a chance to work together with no obligation from you, right? So you get that free session, and then we both have a chance to see, like, does this feel like a good fit? Do we feel like we could benefit from continuing this type of relationship? And then of course, if we feel like it's right and we want to keep working together, I can send you a link for future coaching. But that first session is free for potential new clients. So if you've worked with me before, I'm sorry, I love you. It's not for you. We already did that. I can't wait to see you again. But potential new client doesn't mean that you have to buy anything. It's just someone who hasn't been my client before. So if you feel like you could benefit from an hour talking strategy, getting new perspectives, getting you unstuck and back to business, back to making money, and on track to hit your goals, I'll include the link in the description so you can go ahead and get signed up for your free business strategy session so we can get you unstuck, inspired, and back to hitting those goals. All right, let's jump back into the episode.
So coming back to the States after 3 weeks in Belize, honey, on the island, who am I talking to today? Who am I talking with today? Who is she?
I feel like I'm like still like synthesizing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But like I love that you said expansive because that's so perfect. And then like also, okay, coming back just a little bit, but like 3 weeks with no agenda, like you just do whatever the
Mm-hmm.
fuck you want. And that was something that I loved as well that I'm bringing with me is like there were so many times when I was able to just check in with myself because when you're in corporate, especially, right? Or when you're in your routine, you kind of have a template for how your day
Mm-hmm.
looks. And I think for me at least, after a certain point of time, it's easy to forget that I still have a choice. And it's like I'm so used to
Mm.
following this template and like doing my day this way, regardless of whether or not it's working for me. Like that's just what
Mm.
you do because that's what you do. And when you have that space, be like, I don't have an agenda. What do I
Wow.
want to do? And I like that was one of the big things for me is I just asked myself, like, what do you want? And there's like, ooh, what do I want?
Yes.
Because I was like, I didn't have to do anything. And then I'd be like, hanging out on a hammock. I read 3 novels in
Oh,
3 weeks.
wow.
That's more than I've read in like years. And then I'd be
That's
like, oh, I get
incredible.
this like this antsy feeling of like, oh, I should be doing something. Like, ooh, is something productive? Or like, okay. What do you want to be doing? Like, do you want to take a walk? Do you want to move your body? Do you want to like, are you hungry? Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, you want to be reading this book. You just feel like you should be doing something else. Okay. Like,
Mm.
so that is a huge thing that I'm bringing with me now is like, what do I want to be doing? Am I doing what I want to be doing? No? Can I go do what I want? Like, how can I? And
Wow.
so, yeah, I came back and I was like, oh, it's cold here because I'm in Colorado. And like, and I was like, first of all, Mary Beth, you didn't hate your life when you left. So I know I have a good
Mm.
life. So I can still be content here. Because I was like
Mm.
so irritated when I came back. I was like, I didn't like it here. Take me back. And then I was like, okay, okay, okay.
Oh yeah,
So
ground down,
that,
ground
like,
down.
yeah, yeah. I was like, you have a good life. You loved it before, you can love it again. And just incorporating new things. And so like
Mm.
nature, like I was outside all the time. It's like it's about to be summer here. The summers are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm sitting in my house after work watching Netflix, I can be like, what do you want to be doing?
There you
And then we can
go.
go outside or we can like, so yeah, I think who am I now? I love that question. And I don't fully know, but someone who is more caring about myself
Mm-hmm.
and who wants to, I guess it's like kind of inner child, right? Like I want to allow myself to do the things that I want to do. And so I want to
Mm-hmm.
facilitate that. And another thing I want to tag on because it was like huge for me is I think as an ADHDer, I think that's part of it. Like I just get overwhelmed by the effort required to do things so
Mm.
easily. And I find myself saying a lot of the time, like, oh, it's not worth it. Like, ooh, I really want like a specific acai bowl, right? And then it's like, ugh, then you have to get dressed and you have to drive and go get it, and then it's gonna cost money, and like, and it's not worth it. And there's so
Mm.
many things where I'm just like, and then I end up like just not doing stuff, just like vegging out or like watching TV all day because it's like doing the things I want to do isn't worth it. And
Wow.
that was something I was able to work on a lot while I was there because like I didn't have a routine and there was nobody there judging me. Like
Mm.
one time I woke up, okay, because this island is tiny. Sorry, I know I'm rambling. This island is tiny. You could walk to watch the sunset over the water on one side and walk to watch the sunrise and sunset on the other side. Like
Wow.
I was at a point where it was like very small. So there was one morning when I woke up and I think like based on my app, right, the sun was supposed to rise in like 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, by the time I throw on clothes and I like walk out there, I'm gonna miss it. It's not worth it.
Mm.
And I was like, wait, Phil, what did you say? Because then I was like, okay, what if you don't see it come up over the water and it's like already up and you missed it and like do you just what? You can come back to bed or you could like go do something else. Like, who cares? And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, fine, I feel like doing it. That's what I want to do in this moment. I might miss it. Oh well. And so I did. And it was a gorgeous sunrise.
Mm.
And I was like, Mary Beth, it's worth it. So
Yes.
now, like, I'm asking myself, like, is it not worth it? Or are you saying you're not worth it? Like,
Woo! Shit.
that's why I had to bring
Wow.
this up because I was like, the fuck am I telling myself?
Wow.
Like,
Oh my
I was
gosh.
subconsciously telling myself, like, your pleasure of watching the sunrise is not worth the effort it requires to put some clothes on and walk like
Ooh.
3 minutes. And I'm like, no, I don't need. And like detaching the outcome, right? Be like, okay, what
Mm.
if I went through all the effort of getting dressed and like taking a little walk to the beach and the sun was already risen and I missed it and it didn't work because I didn't get the result I wanted. I missed the sunrise. And like, bitch, we're just gonna do it because you want to, because you feel like
Mm.
it, and it's not hurting anyone. Like,
Wow.
so yeah, that has been a game
Incredible.
changer for me. Is like, if you want to do it and it takes a little bit of effort, do it. Make yourself
Ah.
a little happier. Pursue something, pursue that little inkling of like, oh, maybe I should try.
Mm.
Because I talk myself out of stuff way too soon. I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. It's gonna be too much work. No, 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 no. It's like, if you want to do it,
I
it's not going to hurt
yeah.
anybody. Give it a shot. Give yourself that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Oh, wow. You said
huge
so
for me.
much because I find I have, yes, I can so resonate with what you shared.
Yeah.
And I love the distinction between like, is it not worth it or you saying that you're not worth it? That and you know what's interesting too? I was able to connect it back to the whole taking up space thing of like, but your presence is
Mm,
being called to this
mm,
experience. That's your space that you're taking up. Even if it's just going to go see the
mm,
sunrise, you know what I mean? It's like, but the sunrise is calling. It's like, Mary Beth, I'm about to pull up. You coming or not? Like, and if we can see the universe in that way of like, this is an invitation. I'm being asked to
mm.
show up here to be here. My presence is
That's
being
beautiful.
asked to come and be here at this place, to take up this space. Like, that's what I saw when you said that. And I'm like, I can't and yeah, I because I've done that to myself so many times at the effort. Oh, this is
Mm,
going to take too much work. Oh, this is and it's like what I've been able to connect it to is like this going back to that grinding and the hustle and working so hard that it's
yeah.
like just the things that are actually the most effortless to do because we're so like we've been so like that workplace trauma, right? Like our worth and everything so much is connected to our
Mhm.
productivity and working and doing these things
Yeah.
that it's like it gets confuddled. Is that a word? It gets
It
confuddled,
is now.
confused with our actual passions and desires.
Mhm.
Oh man.
I absolutely love what you said about presence because that is, ooh, I want us to learn that. That, like,
Mm-hmm.
instead of earning our place or, apologizing for taking up space, actually, your presence is desired. It's an
Mm,
asset, it's valuable. Like, that's a huge lesson for me, too, is like, I don't have to apologize for being somewhere or worry that I'm bothering somebody or like,
mm-hmm.
I don't know, I still have a lot of work to do there. But instead realizing like that's a gift. People
Mm.
want your presence or the universe, but like the sunrise wants to share that moment with you, okay? But
Yes.
just like also people and like showing up is a gift. You don't have to
Mm.
apologize or pay for it. Like you are giving. by showing
Whew.
up. Like your presence is valuable. And it's like, because I have it in my head that like, oh, I don't want to overstay my welcome. I don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
be annoying. I don't want to, stay too long. No, no, no. And it's like,
Be a
actually,
burden.
you're welcome. You're
Mm-hmm.
welcome for showing up and sharing my energy with you. And
Mm.
like, it's something I'm still working on, but like, that was a huge step towards that
Wow.
of like accepting that actually, like, people like me
Mm-hmm.
and people want to be around me. And my presence is actually a gift to those in my life.
Mm. Woo. Yes. That reminds me of an affirmation that I work with when I have those moments come
Hmm.
up in my reality. It's you are the answer to somebody's prayer.
Ooh, I love that.
And I have
That's
to
so
keep
true.
reminding myself of that when I'm like, oh, I'm feeling called to this thing, or I have this vision, I have this desire. And I'm like, well, how's that going to work? Or how's that going to happen? Or it's just like, just trust and believe that you are the answer to somebody's prayer.
Mm,
And I reminded myself of the time where someone was the answer to my prayer, you know?
yeah.
And I love what you said too about like giving, like just showing up is a gift, is you giving your energy. And it really challenges us to, again, going back to what you shared about like paying to take up space, paying to be able to, or earning, what did you say, like earning your space, earning your
Mm,
place. It it just goes it goes back to that, I feel like, too, of just like allowing ourselves to know that like our presence is valuable, our energy is valuable.
mm,
It is a currency. Energy is a form of
mm,
currency. And that's the reality that I'm building within myself. It's like, sure, yes, sometimes financial currency is the remedy, and sometimes energetic currency is the remedy,
mm.
and really being able to expand our consciousness in our realm of what's possible. um Prime example, something I recently experienced. So to go to Miami, I had to go to I had to take my dog to a pet sitter.
Oh,
And I was
right.
like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I have, we've got some funds that we're waiting on. So like we're gonna have to figure out, what's going to be happening for this pet sitter situation. My flight, all I know is that my flight leaves out on Sunday morning, so I'm going to be on that plane. I did not hadn't really figured out what I was going to do with my dog. So I had a
Mm,
couple ideas, two ideas come up, and I had to ask ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, listen, I got these two ideas so far. Not really loving them so much. Wanted to see if you have some other options I should look into. And so they gave me a few like pet sitting apps, whatever. I was like, oh, okay, let me make an
yeah.
account and see what's going on over here. And so I just kept hearing like just go through the process as if the funds are going to come, as if like everything's going to work out, it's going to
Mm,
be fine. So I did that, and I
mm,
and I met up with two people, and the one person was really great. The second person, I really felt like a connection, like we kind of chatted and da da da. And so I was like, okay, this is me talking to myself. I'm like, okay, I felt definitely more of a vibe with this person. I was like, but I'm gonna have to see if they would be willing to take care of my dog up front, and then I pay them, when I come back. And I was
right.
so nervous about that because I'm like, me just being like, I want to respect her for her time. I want to be able to like pay her, like, like just go through the process normally, da da da. And but I really allowed it to be a challenge of like, think outside the box and allow things
Mm,
to come into fruition in an unconventional way. Going back to that unconventional piece I mentioned earlier, really leaning into
yeah.
that and allowing things to be completed differently than what you would have expected, or different than what's the norm. And so when I called her up and I was like, hey, listen, this is what's going on, da 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 da, like this is what I can do, XYZ. She was like, you know what? Like, I'm totally fine with that. She's like, I'm also a contractor. So she's like, I totally trust you. I know you're good for it. I've met this girl one time. You know what I
I
mean?
love it.
But just that energetic exchange, there was a
Mm,
level of like security and safety. You know what I mean? That it's like, hey,
mm,
listen, I'm feeling good vibes from this person. I'm trusting her to kick my dog. She's trusting me that I'm going to, pay her later.
mm.
And that was, to me, was like the prime example of like, if that does not tell you that energy is currency, I don't know what else will.
Energy is currency, right? Because like money is just like a representation of the energy that you put into the work. So it's really like money is the knockoff. Like energy is the actual currency, right?
I
Like
love that. I
it's just a
love that.
paper representation, but it's like, where did that come from? From the energy that you put into your work. Like,
Mm,
okay.
mm,
So I
incredible.
I mean, I think you could argue that energy is the purest form of currency.
Yeah, I love that. The purest form of currency. I'm gonna make sure I Mary Beth after that quote. It's gonna be quoted, honey. I love that.
That
Uh
that's such a cool story. I love that. Because it's also like it's so encouraging to see situations like that. Because it's like, yeah, we still need money because like we live in a capitalist society, but we can step away from that
mm-hmm,
structure and like be more community and like connect with each other and be like, yeah, pay me when you get back. Like, and we
mm-hmm.
can choose to do things differently,
Yeah.
and that's so
Mm.
empowering.
Amen. Amen. Oh man, this has been such an amazing conversation. I know we are way
I love
over
our
on
conversation. I'm so
time.
sorry.
So thank you so much for just sharing your presence and all of your beautiful wisdom and medicine and experiences.
Thank
It's
you.
been so many little gems that you dropped that I'm going to be taking away with me. And I'm curious before I let you go, is there anything else that you like to share? Any places and spaces you like for anyone listening to this episode to connect with you through? Anything like that? Anything that's on your heart that you just want to leave
Yes.
us with?
Thank you. Thank you so much for holding this space and allowing me to take extra time. I appreciate you so much.
Yes.
I am at the Fierce Framework kind of everywhere. So my podcast is also on YouTube, but
Hmm.
also on like Spotify and Apple podcast platforms. The Fierce Framework podcast. I'm also on social media, Instagram and TikTok at the Fierce Framework. So
Hey.
trying to be consistent, trying to make it easy because I know it's ADHDers. I can only remember so much. um, yeah, and I guess I just want to like because this is where I'm at, and I know I'm not the only one on this journey. So allow yourself to take up space and
Hmm.
pursue those little things that you think you might want to do. Like not everything is going to be this huge, like, ah.
Hmm.
Sometimes we have to practice following those little inklings and get more tuned into our voice and our desires and like what we actually want to get to those bigger things. So if you
Hmm.
just get a little inkling for, I don't know, I kind of feel like I want a nap. I kind of feel like I want some sunshine. Pursue those things and see
Hmm.
if that inner voice doesn't get stronger and if it doesn't start leading to bigger things to help you figure out like what you're passionate about and what actually is going to light you up because
Hmm.
you're worth it. You're worth the
Yes.
effort to do those little things that you want to try.
Ah,
Those are my final thoughts.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. It's such an honor and privilege to be in conversation with you today.
Thank you. You were such a gem. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me on this past episode of the Fierce Framework, where we talk about becoming fierce through taking a messy action, baby steps, and growing your confidence. I'm your host, Mary Beth. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you got a lot out of the episode. If you're looking for a little bit more, make sure that you are subscribed to my newsletter. I drop a new email every week. I'm also on social media platforms at The Fierce Framework, and I do have some coaching spots opening up. So if that's something you're interested in, you want to connect on that, feel free to drop me a DM or check out the link that I've included in the description. I can't wait to see you next time, and until then, keep becoming fierce.